Hi.
What's good, everybody? This is the first episode of C Jack and Avarice. And how are you doing, my wonderful co-host?
Doing good. Nice to meet you all.
Good, good. We're going to talk about. We decided to. This is basically C Jack reviews, but obviously with a co-host, basically like Richard and Mathis. So if you guys are tuning in, feel free to hit that share, comment, subscribe button, and check out the playlists. If you're new to the channel, please hit that join. If you've already been a subscriber, we are going to talk about Domestic Girlfriend. I wanted to check this series out for a while. So before we dive in, this is the most. I don't usually touch animes like this. You guys know me, obviously. And it was just the powder cake of fuckery. It's like Romeo and Juliet on acid. You know, not only do we have a love triangle, but we have a love triangle that keeps going back to itself and keeps shooting itself in this face. So without any delay, we're gonna hop right in. So how did you when I've recommended this to you, what did you think at first? Like, what were you expecting? Did you have any expectations or what?
I was kind of expecting like a harem anime, but I wasn't like I didn't think it'd be like a love triangle thing so
Mhm.
much. It's just like maybe four or five girls all fighting for him or something. So I was pretty surprised that they did the whole like semi taboo thing with the with the whole stepsisters and stuff. Like honestly, I when I saw one of the scenes like where he kind of was at the mixer they're at and he looked at the Ryori with that look like she was like the teacher. I was like, oh, that's probably her daughter or her sister. Like I already knew.
Right. And not only, folks, I'm glad you said that because not only it starts off out the gate with episode one with Ruri in him, like she just wants to try out sex to see what the big hype's about. She wasn't really lusting after the guy, and it was his first time. And not only did he just get with her, he has the worst string of luck with women, period. We're talking about our protagonist here. I would say Yusuke. Wow.
Not
Masaki,
so.
not the Natsuro. Where was I going with that? Thank you, Natsuro. So he's our protagonist, Natsuro, and not
Natsuo.
Natsuro, yeah, and not only does he deflowers her, but at the same time he has a crush on the older sister, who was actually a teacher at the school. Damn it, I'm off today. Masaki.
Hina.
Thank you. And and then on this scene right here, this is where I paused it. His father is in love with their mother, and it gets even worse. Like, how did you feel about that?
Yeah, when he came into the house, you know how he kind of sprung the by the way, I'm getting married or have gotten
Yeah,
married. I just didn't tell you, but here's your stepmother. When I heard him say that, I thought it was going to be the teacher, but then when I saw it was the adult woman, I'm like, oh, her daughter's the teacher.
right.
Rui's probably going to show up as a stepsister. So yeah,
And
I
it
should
is
have known with the name Tachibana that they were both related.
right that they both last name was Tachibana. So yeah, man, it's just like the worst case scenario, huge love triangle, and these three have to make the truth comes out, and these three have to make an unholy alliance to actually like, look, we cannot tell our parents what we did. It's like, I know what you did last summer kind of deal. And so we're past the opening premise of this. Now, the rest of the series is interesting in itself because um it builds this dynamic like I don't want yeah, and Ryu was like, I don't want you to even think about talk about touching me again or anything like that, which is perfectly fine. But then later down the road, she gets jealous of her big sister, and then she decides to like back up, like go against her own word, which is completely weird. What did you think?
Yeah, because basically I don't know if you heard the first pancake term, girls use it. Basically, when you
Yeah,
make a pancake, the first one doesn't come out okay. He was the first pancake because he was the practice guy. So when she saw him, I think she was just like, "Oh my God, why?" But then, typical sibling rivalry, especially amongst younger sisters, older sisters. She's probably just like, why is he so interested in her even though he was just with me even though I don't really care. So I
like
thought that was
this.
kind of strange on her end.
It was strange because at this scene right here, like she passes out and he tries to sneak a kiss on her, which creepy in itself. She catches him red-handed right there. Like, I know what this looks like. And no, this is exactly what it is. And, you know, she's Machi is different because of the simple factor that, hey, you know what? It's okay. I get that you're curious. We just can't do this. I'm the adult. You're the kid, at least that she portrays. But later down the road, it gets worse and worse. And I'm like, did you have an inkling of who was he going to pick later down the road? Or you just knew it was going to be a complete clusterfuck?
I felt like it would be Hina down the road, the teacher, because she was, even though she was like, oh, we're teacher student, we can't do this. She was just like one of those like, oh no, I just dropped my pencil. Let me bend over for it. Like
Right.
she was just being a huge tease. I think she liked the whole, I'm trying to let you chase me, but I'm not going to let you have it.
She openly admitted that she likes to tease and to flirt all the time. And poor Matsuo, he had no idea where to he's in high school. The poor kid didn't know what to do. But anyway, so there's more episodes to go into it. And it gets even worse because at one point he was like, you know what? Maybe I'm ruining everybody's like happiness. I decided to run off and live with his buddy. And he was gone for a couple of days, and the parents were like, oh my God, is it because of us? I would feel like complete shit because the parents are thinking because like, oh my God, I didn't tell my son till last minute, the dad anyway, and maybe we should get a divorce and do the right thing and I should move out. No, it has nothing to do with that. And the love triangle is really the huge catalyst of all of this, and I thought that was kind of like a huge role that needed to be addressed in this series. So that was just me.
Well, funny enough, I don't know if you remember, they actually did get a divorce and had to remarry, but they kind of like just brought that up later. So it still technically destroyed the family, but then they're like, no, it's chill. It wasn't because of that. They're like, oh, okay, teenage angst. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And then, and the thing that matter is, how can I word this? And Hina, and you're right. And Hina, right here in this scene, soon after that happened, she's like, okay, you wanted this, let's do it. And he's like cotton. Wait, the scene's coming up right here. Right there, absolute shock. Like, oh my God, you wouldn't know what to do with me if you did. But she also puts him down like, dude, I don't go after. And directly, he said, it's basically a soap opera on wheels. You basically don't know what you want to do with me, even if you try to. And she feels bad because she's debasing this dude. But at the same time, she's leading him on. Like, choose your episode which. You know what I'm saying? It's just insane.
Well, I think part of her doing that was like, remember in that hotel scene or apartment, I don't know where she was at, he was pointing out like, oh, I caught you with that married man, and I overheard him say, oh, I'm gonna leave my wife for you, but we all know that's not gonna happen. Like, he was trying to say you're too good for that, and I think that's why she countered it with the whole like, oh, because you'd be good enough for me, and then she just tried to test him basically. But I think with him and her, yeah, she kind of wants him. She's leading him on, but I think he's what you call a back burner guy. He's the safe choice. He's on the back burner in case things don't work out. So.
No, you're absolutely right. And so everybody was happy except for her. Obviously, she felt like she's the catalyst why everything badly happened in the first place.
Well, she did kind of scare him off. So
she did, of course, yeah. And no, you're right. Knock yourself out with that because, like, and he's just lost, confused person. And then now we go into this next stage of the situation, to where now they're in her lifestyle. Like, why is she doing the things that she does? And it's not cool in itself. And now we're entering. She's a homewrecker indirectly because the dude, the teacher that she was in love with, you're better with the names right now.
Shul,
yeah. He's a tool. And of course, obviously, our hero here feels that, you know what? Sensei deserves better than you. You're just some asshole who just basically took advantage of her. And he is. And that's basically the whole thing, why this entire series is such an upside down. They throw all these Easter eggs in here and what to deal with and everybody. And sorry about that. I'm going all over the place, folks. And you're fine. And basically, it gets worse. It just becomes there's so many dumpster fires, and I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes that they go under. So she breaks up with him, and he was never going to leave his wife. Do you think he was ever going to leave his wife for her?
Yeah, honestly, I did. Because when you go into the scenes later where you show them like with the grooming and stuff, because he basically groomed her. She was like bullied for being pretty, and he was there grooming. And then, when they met up later, he was like, "Man, I'm married and you're over the age of 21 now." Like,
No,
I think she's 23 in the series, but yeah, and it's kind of funny because she carried on that cycle of abuse and ended up being a groomer as well. And it was funny enough that his literature club teacher was also friends with that guy, and there's like three groomers
right.
all just buddy buddy. So yeah, but I did see it happening because I think in his head, oh man, that's the girl that got away. And they actually did. I don't know if you recall that he did divorce his wife
Yeah, you're right, and you're
when they
absolutely
showed
right.
that Kyria, the teacher, and him were friends at the
Thank you.
table.
You
Yeah.
got this. You got this. Yeah, yeah. It's fresher in your head because I watched it a few months ago. Sorry, folks. I'm usually on my game better than this, but I do remember the events. It's the names I'm having trouble with. And you're absolutely right. And and it answers your question in regards to what a person's true intentions are. Like we're talking about people, the worst string of luck ever. I don't know anybody in with 44 years on this planet who had that kind of bad luck. But anyway, then we enter Momo. Now that her I do remember. She has more miles on her vagina than my car, according to everyone anyway. But it doesn't help the fact that she was talking to Ryu in regards to, and mind you, I don't care what Ryu says. She still likes the guy. That's our short hair girl, the younger sister. And and she was like, you know what? Hey, do you mind? And she calls her Riri. Do you mind Riri that if I ask him out, I appreciate her directness. But the problem matter is she has her own problems, being a cutter for starters. And I think in this scene, he felt bad for her, or he didn't want to take advantage of her naivete. I don't know, because they were going all the way at first. And it's just like episode 1 here, and this clip's right here, and he had the flashback. Do you think that was because out of guilt, or do you think it was because of the simple factor that, okay, this girl's mixed up and doesn't know what she wants?
Well, in that scene, he was just sleeping with her to forget about Hina. And
True.
then he realized, with the cuts and then with her, because the rumors about her getting around ended up being true. He ended up sleeping with,
True.
she ended up sleeping with his friend Yuya and the blonde hair guy. And
He
he
did
pointed like,
say it was
"Hey, do you want to be that dude that sleeps with his friends, like
exactly.
ex slaves?
He's like,
Go
dude, I
ahead."
don't. No, he said no. He said this quote unquote. I don't care what you do, bro. But I'm letting you know. Just let me know, so I have a mindset, because it would kind of feel weird if we were with the same chick. And he's
Like
not
tunnel
wrong.
buddies. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's the
It's funny to
politically
hear that.
correct term.
Yeah, no, it's politically correct term, and it's weird to hear that out loud because this is how we roll all the time. So now we're with these two. He's strictly with the. Oh shoot, I went back all the way. Anyway, we're back with these two with the sisters and everything, right? And how can I word this? He doesn't know when to quit when he has a losing proposition of a situation, if that makes sense. Like he needs to think outside the bun, no pun intended. And the situations he land himself in do not help either. Like when remember Reed was having a temperature and he had to put a
Oh,
suppository.
the suppository, yeah. That was just like, oh, what are you doing here? Oh my teacher. Like that was that anime. They're just
Like
copying it over.
right, right. That was fan service. I was like, okay, whatever.
It was
So
a very good fan service, in my opinion. But,
no, it was
if you're into that
no,
kind
it
of
was
stuff, you're into that doctor stuff. Yeah, I guess.
yeah. So if you look right here, you see him all in the corner crying again because he did something stupid. Well, at this point, he goes back to Ree and starts kissing her. And then Ree was like, "Hey, look, don't blame him, blame me." Mind you, this is going back and forth, folks. And it's like I'm the one who basically, initiated, the whole
Coerced him.
coerce. Thank you. I was looking for the word coerce him into kissing, and she was like, "Okay, why would you do that? You know how I feel about him." Do you think either one of them know what the hell they want at this point? Like, as a
I
woman,
feel because at this point she's done with Shu. So she has a better idea of what she wants. She just doesn't know how to initiate it. Like in that scene where they're on the beach, she knew it was social suicide, double suicide. That's why she tried to show him her point. I don't think she was going to kill herself in the ocean, but she was trying to show him, like, hey, this is what's going to happen. We're going to both face so much shame, be dishonored and stuff. So she wants to move forward, but she knows it's not what's best for him. She's been in the situation where someone groomed her, and I think she wants better for him, but she still loves him, so she's just torn between both of those decisions on what to do.
no, and you're right. And so, I'm glad you mentioned the beach episode. a lot happened on that beach. Not only did Ryu forgive her for what happened with, at the whole kissing incident in the bedroom, as I showed before, but now we have an issue to where you can only keep up the facade for so long. So a student, I mean, to me, the chances are astronomical, but then again, so is this whole scenario with this anime, was taking photos and caught her and him in the bedroom upstairs in the fireworks, and voila. And the school board gets wind of this. And basically, like, they give her not the ultimatum, but they give her the whole situation to basically, sorry about that, folks, my sponsors, give the whole situation that, okay, either you change schools or no, excuse me. Wait, was it up to the board? Originally, they're going to fire her. That's right. And then she decided to like, hey, look, I'm going to go ahead and just transfer schools entirely. But my thing is, as a former CCSD employee back here in Vegas, when you're messing with a kid, you're done. You don't get an option. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Like, did you think that was BS, or do you think she had to come in?
Honestly, I have seen like situations like this in school back when I was younger. They do transfer the teacher as long as the parents don't press charges. Like the school doesn't want to like a scam, so they'll just do the hush hush. We'll transfer him, transfer her. It won't happen again. Do you really want to put your kid through the newspapers? And they always do stuff like that. So maybe that's why you don't hear about it for the kids who and parents who do report. Then they're done. But Japan, they're more hush hush too. They don't want to bring dishonor to the school. So like, okay, you went simply, we'll agree to your terms with letting him stay. Because if we let you both go at the same time, people might suspect something.
No, and you're not wrong about that. No, absolutely. And I know I'm going off of memory, folks. I'm over the place. So the lie, the one episode was literally called Lie. That caught my interest the most. So it turns to find out that before she left, she was trying to do the honorable thing. She really was. And Hina was trying to move out because of what she was going on and everything with, with Natsuro and everybody else. Like, you know what? And she's 23, 20-ish, whatever. To me, I was already out by 21, my parents' house. So, yeah, it was time for her to go anyway. But first, she leaves him this key. Like, she knew how Ryu felt about him. So why leave him the key? Like, I get that. And this is also because of the simple fact that she felt she was self-destructing. She couldn't feel so self-destructing, in my opinion, if she bothered leaving him a key. She would have ghosted him entirely, right? Like, what's your take on that?
I think she thought she was giving him like a little bit of something. Like, I think it was supposed to be like kind of like a trinket, talisman, whatever you want to call it, like as something to remember me by. Like, but he's not going to see it that way. But people who do the dumping, especially when they're older than the person, they think like, oh, they'll see the symbolicness in it and it'll help them move on. I think that it was just to help them move on, even though it did the opposite.
Yeah, basically give the green light for a booty call. Like, yo, so listen, we're not putting a label on this, but anytime you're needing some, come get some. That's what I interpret. And that's what this whole series was about. And that's basically it in a nutshell. I just explained under 20 minutes. That was my goal, to explain Domestic Girlfriend or less. Avers, I appreciate you being here as my co-host, and more episodes will show up. But first, I want to talk about an honorable mention. I did not know that it was a hidden gem that Masaki, wow, was originally a mob boss. I mean, he owns this really cool, little fruit bar, whatever, no pun intended. Everybody can come in and
get the Maid Cafe.
What's it called?
Or I don't know, it wasn't a maid cafe, but it's just like one of those hostess bars, or not a hostess bar, but it was like a bar / cafe.
No, you got it right. It's a hostess bar, but it's not maid. It's not maid theme. It's another anime we're going to review later. Did you think about it? How did you feel about his backpass being in form of Akuza? That was pretty badass, actually, in my opinion.
No, I could picture somebody like going hard and then just turning all, like. Just all that pressure, and then eventually, like, I get to be me. Screw it. I'm in love. I get to be me, and everyone has to deal with it. And this is my way of just kind of like when actors stop being actors and they just open like a like brewery. They had their fun and now they want a simple life.
No, and it's also very, very true. And yeah, I guess you're right about that. And then one final thing, and I completely forgot about this. how did you feel when Ryu had her hair done just like Hina did? Remember that? Yeah.
I
What do you
feel
think
like
she was
she
thinking?
wanted to, well, she mentioned that she wanted to see his response if it were her so she could feel like her just for a moment. And I think at first she was hoping, like, okay, maybe I could trick him for a second, because he said he's done with me and he loves her. So that's why she just wished she could be her. Like a lot of little sisters, they want to be their older sister.
Yeah, which is cute, but in this case, it was whatever. Favorite episode, most grimy moment. There we go.
Yeah, that was a bit too, I want to wear her skin. So,
Oh, right.
but yeah.
It was. Yeah. So, I mean, no, did you have a favorite episode or anything, or what did you like about it, or
Um, Yeah, I
you
kind
got
of
the
liked
moment?
how like I think it was the last episode through all like the adversity he had. He still kind of strived through it. He listened to the teacher Kyria. I don't remember his last name, but yeah, remember he was also ended up being an author under a different pen name who he admired. So he did what he said. He told him to turn your experiences into art, into your writing, and then he ended up hooking him up with that publicist or editor. Tats, man,
No, now that name I remember.
oh
Tasha.
no, it's Sutaya.
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 That's right. And
Yeah,
that,
Sutaya. So it kind of was nice that he was able to turn all that into like him being an author. He actually kind of had his first little blow up, and he was still humble, but he was like happy. So I think he got a little bit level of contentment, and that's what I liked. And I, even though the Kyria guy was the teacher, he was kind of a degenerate. Honestly, like maybe back in the day, I would have been like, "Wow, he's amazing. I want that guy." Same
what
with the
girl?
shoe guy. They're both in, like
Yes.
like that taboo thing. Like they were terrible degenerates, but they were good people at the same time. Those are my favorite characters.
It's
So
true. What character does not have a little bit of larceny in them? And honestly, let's be real. Guys and girls are attracted to, oh, he has some things going on. He's pretty handsome, or she's hot as hell. Who wouldn't want to be with her? But it's basically that line that you can't cross. And lines, they weren't crossed. They were fucking erased in this series. So, all right, guys. Well,
yeah.
maybe what you guys think in the comments below. And next time you'll join us, we'll be doing another review. Anything you want to tell
All
the
right.
audience?
Uh, go easy on me in the comments. If not, I'll just
That'll be
pretend it didn't happen. So,
that part. All right, guys. Well, I'm C Jack, and this is wait.
Avarice, nice to see you.
All right, and we'll tune in next time. Peace.
Bye bye.